Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm David. Today we're going to work on punch tags, using punches to make our tags. But first I've got a couple tips for you. These are shopping bags I got from Amazon. They hold a good bit of stuff. I have 4 of them and I can use them to change between projects. If I'm waiting for paint or glue to dry, or if I need to go somewhere, I've got a crafting club I go on Friday nights. We'll grab one of these and take it with us. It holds a good amount of stuff. I had bought them for Christmas. They fit quart-sized jars perfectly. So if you want to fill up some jars and put them in there for gifts, that's what I got them for originally. They fold down. They pop right up. You see how simple it is to pop it up? I'll have a little more trouble taking it down than I did putting it up. Because I didn't leave up the little thing on the side that you use to pull it out with. Clips right on the shelf. Second thing is tin pans. Your friendly neighborhood Dollar Tree has these. If you've got beads and bits and bobs, works really well for those. For the punch tags I'm going to work on today, I have a big basket. I have 3 cabinets I go to, and I take one of these things to the cabinet and I fill it up with what I need for my project, and then I'm off to go with it. And when I'm done, I take it and put it back in the cabinet, and I don't have to worry about having stuff stored all over the house. All right, on to our next thing, and this is my paper, scrap paper. I save every scrap that I can. Waste not, want not. This stuff isn't cheap. It's not expensive, but it's still not cheap. First up, we're going to do gnome tags. I got this punch from May Made It. And for some reason, I thought I saw her make punch tags, gnome ones, but I couldn't find the video that showed it. So I went back and looked. And apparently what they made was stamped gnome tags and cut them out by hand. And I am not crafty with scissors, so I don't care for fussy cutting. But I could have swore that's what this was for, and that's why I bought this tag punch. So we're going to pop out some beards. I'm using a little bit of off-white paper. I'm going to grab my ink, my little pouncing thing in. I'm going to shade it out around the edges and put some lines through the middle of it so it looks like a dirty old gray beard. I think those are called finger daubers, but I'm not sure. I'm not going to cut the trunk off the backs of these because you're not going to see them anyway, and that would just be a little extra glue space. I figured this piece of paper would be good for noses because I don't like this piece of paper. I never have. But I like the color variations for noses, so I'll use it. I'm going to use art glitter glue to glue them down. You can shade the noses as well. I did not on these. You can spend as much time or as little time on these tags as you want. I'm going to grab the Christmas tree punch again, and we're going to do the tops to our hats. And to make it fit those noses better, I'm going to take my little round punch. It's a 3/4 inch round punch, and I'm gonna punch off the trunk and a tiny bit above that so that it fits across the bridge of that nose. It doesn't take much. Most gnome hats come down a little further on the nose than a real nose would have a hat, stuck to. And then I'm going to show you on one how you can trim it without having to cut out trim. I've cut out a Christmas tree bottom, just a tiny piece of it, out on a scrap of paper. And I'm going to punch out the hole and fit it across one that it fits on. Just glue it. It's the same exact shape. It'll fit just fine. You'll never see the back of the, after it's glued down, you'll never see that red and white through it. And that trim really does finish it off. But I was too lazy to do that trim on all of them. This is just to give you an idea of what to do. You can glue yarn across it, or I would use that honeybee yarn because it's too big. And here I'm hunting these little snowflakes that I could punch out, put it right in the center of those pom-poms. I think on this last one I was looking for a bow that I could fit into it. I didn't get the whole thing, but I got most of it. It was just enough. And we're going to grab our crocodile and we're going to punch the hole. I did a large hole for a couple of them, then I flipped it over to make it smaller so that you wouldn't see it as good and you could see more of the snowflake. And it worked both ways. And baker's twine, of course. And I don't show it on here, but you can punch to and from on the back, just or stamp it, just like you would with any other tag, or write it. It doesn't have to be stamped. It doesn't have to be printed. You can write it by hand. It's not going to hurt nothing. You can hang them on a tree. This is some party confetti I found at Dollar Tree a couple years ago in the party section. And I'm just going to glue a few trim accessories down. The bad part about this is you'll see a piece you like and you start digging, and when you do, it moves. And of course, I'm using the pie pan to catch it all in. I got these tweezers at the Dollar Tree. They're not that great. I bought a better set from Amazon, and they work a lot better. But until I had the Amazon set, I made do with the Dollar Tree cheapies. Something's better than nothing, right? And there you've got them. You can slap them on a tree. This is called a double-ended tag. That's the only thing I knew to call it. And you can make them as short or as long as you want. I put macrame yarn through that first one, and then that was ribbon. And this is a pocket watch. And we're going to make that in a little bit too. There are two kind of punches we're going to start off with for those double-ended tags. And the reason I have two different kinds is I ordered the wrong kind the first time, and I wasn't going to send it back after I got the good one. This one is the Dress My Craft Hang Tag Punch, and it's slotted. And this is the Dress My Craft Rounded Hole Punch, and it has the round hole instead of the slot. The slotted makes the Santa belt. That's how I made the belt, the buckle. And I don't know how I ended up with those cut out without even using the camera to get it. But here I'm getting the measurements for the inside. It's a 2.5 inch wide, and that's 2.5 inch wide across. So we're going to knock this down to 2 inches by 2 inches as soon as I get it flipped the right way. This is going to make the outline for your belt. Cut it at 2 inches and 2 inches. And then grab some more black scrap. And we're going to do a 1.5 by 1.5. And this is a three-sided corner punch. And if you get one of these, start with the smaller and test it, and then go bigger because you can't put paper back, but you can cut off more if you need to. And I just cut them down until I found the size I liked, when it looks best. And then, of course, pick up a piece of scrap for the little metal piece that goes through the hole. And there you have your belt buckle. And each one of these punches has 3 different settings to make tags. There's a 2.5 inch, a 2 inch, and a 1.5 inch. And that would have been 2.5 because it's the widest setting. And then I'm going to decide how long I want it. And I'm not really measuring, I'm just eyeballing how long I want it. Thank you to and from. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, whatever you want to stamp on it. I'm gluing on one of those wooden snowflakes. Then I'm going to paint it out with white acrylic paint with a paint pen. Usually 2 coatings will do better than just one, because one, it soaks up the paint, and let it dry and then give it another quick coat and it turns white. And I'm going to put a single little dot in the middle of that snowflake to just make it set off. And there you have another tag. And if you remember that tag from the last time, that's the one I messed up, so we're going to use it. And I'm going to cut a 1.5 inch, a 2 inch, and that will be a 2.5 inch. So we're going to actually make tags, regular single-ended tags. I just need to know how far along to cut it. Some of these tags are going to disappear in a minute, and you're going to see why in a second when I flip one of them over to stamp on the back of it. Because I had printed to and from last time in large letters and forgot it was back there. Some of these you have to press really good because they're pretty strong. And I'm just going to write a 2 because it's got the from, and we're going to throw that one to the side because I'm not even going to worry about it. And you can put to and from in any direction you want, straight across, side to side, up and down, backwards. It's up to you. And we're going to use that Christmas tree punch to punch out some trees. We're going to switch to the jar of buttons. Grab some of those buttons that came from Amazon and slap them on. And I don't think I put it on there, but I used the acrylic marker to make some white dots on the red tree. Alright, when I made my Santa belt, I put black ribbon around it and I made the pocket watch because I couldn't put the to and from on the belt buckle. I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this. One is just paper and one is paper with some embellishments to make it a little more upscale. I should have got some chipboard to put between those large gold circles because those are 3-inch. We're going to make a large one. You can download a pocket watch face. I did size it down to 2 inches and printed them out. And we're going to start off with a small watch. Well, we're going to go back and forth because we have to keep waiting on the glue to dry. Get your face glued down on your small one. Stamp your to and from. And that's the inside of that watch done. I'm scoring this. I'm going to cut it down. I'm going to go back at the end of this video and show you how to do this one again with different color papers so that you can see what I'm doing. Because for one, I kept getting out of camera, and 2, with all that glitter, you can't really see it clearly. And I'm going to make those meet where I want them to and glue them down. Put a little weight on it to hold it. Pressure is your friend, and these are heavy enough to give the pressure. For this big one, you're going to need a paper brad, and you're going to curl up one side of it, but not both sides, and a dollhouse hinge. And when you get your pack of hinges, go through and find a loose one and not a stiff one. I ended up with a stiff one, and I couldn't hardly move it after I got it. That's why you need some chipboard in there, I believe. It would have helped My paper was too weak for the hinge. There was looser ones. I went back and found them later, but I done made it, and I wasn't going back and changing it. And that's your paper brad again, and that's where I've curled up the end. You just want that one side to slip right under it, enough for it to hold it shut. Too big, too big, just right. And I had printed those out on just regular typing paper, so I've glued them to cardstock now. You could put clear polish on those watch faces, or um, oh, what is that stuff? Nuvo, yeah. I got some crystal drops or something in there. I can't remember what it's called now. Once you get to how you want it to shut, put your pocket watch face on the side with the brad, because technically that's the part you would click open. If you had a real pocket watch, you would mash that and it would open your hand and you would see that watch. And your to and from goes on the other side. That's the lid. That's supposed to mimic like personalized etching or engraving. And on the paper one, I made a paper stopwatch clip. I don't know what you would call those things. And this is some Amazon ribbon I got from what did I say? Amazon ribbon. This is a chain ribbon I got from Amazon. Pretty cheap. I think it was $5 for 2 rolls of one silver and one gold. And I'm just going to glue it down. But it doesn't want to glue the glitter paper very good, so you're going to have to cut another piece of paper and lay it over the top of it to hold it down, which is what I'm getting ready to do. Probably off camera. And I bet I put that thing on there 15 times. When you're gluing to that glitter side, you have to really put some glue, because if you don't, it's going to pop off because it has to get down in there. Chipboard, some cereal box, something in there to make it more stable would work better for that, because those dollhouse hinges were a little tight. And then again, you may come up with a better idea. I do like pocket watches though, so I was tickled. And you can hang them from Santa's belt with that chain. And actually, you can do it with it open, so you can see the to and from without having to do all that opening and closing. I would only make one of those for probably somebody, something real special, you know. And this one's made from the glitter paper as well. And I've just got it folded together. You can see how cockeyed it is. I can't draw or cut a straight line, so that's not me. All right, get your black ribbon and slip it on your belt buckle on it. I wrapped the box with red, and it's actually not red wrapping paper, it's red, oh, what is it called? Craft paper. Amazon has some pretty good sized rolls of this craft paper, and they're all different colors. And it's pretty stout. And you have to use some pretty strong tape because it wants to come undone because it's stronger than the tape. Some double-sided tape will probably be better. And there's your pocket watch hanging off the Santa's belt. Now here's where I'm going to redo the watch with separate. That's just a piece of paper cut 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. And you're going to score it, fold it, put your glue on one side, and attach it to one side. You don't need much glue, just pressure. And once that catches, lay your other one up there and put a little glue on it. Give it a little pressure until it catches. Takes a minute to get that glue down there sometimes. I got my new tip and I am tickled with it. Alright, there's your watch body. Now we're going to cut up our latch. I'm just going to draw you a face so you can see what it looks like because I didn't feel like going all the way back in the other room to get the watch faces that I'd printed out. I'm lazy like that. Alright, you're going to get one piece of paper, and I'm not measuring this. I'm going to score it. And then I'm going to fold it. You can get the scoreboard and do it with it, but I'm just using the needle tool. It's fine. Snip off your excess. I'm going to get the watch and I'm going to measure how wide I think that needs to be. What I think it's going to look good as. And I'm going to snip the whole thing down to as wide as I want the widest part to be at the top. Which will be that little push button that you would use your thumb to push to open it. I'm going to give it the teeniest little cut. And then snip it all the way down on both of those cuts. And then we're going to cut it down to a T. You're going to cut in as far as you think. Make it smaller. Or start at the bottom. One of these is going to be straight and the other one's not. I'm going to have to cut it twice, but it's fine. And cut those sides away. All right, now you have your T. I've got it a little too wide. I'm going to snip some of it off in a minute. You're going to snip off half of one side, or a little more than half. Now you see what that looks like? I'm straightening it up now. And it's going to look like a sawhorse that you've cut the leg off of. Now, get glue and put it in the top only. We're going to glue that top together. And give it a little bit of pressure and hold it for a second. Then you're going to make sure that none of that leg has glued together at all. Alright. Then get your watch and put the glue on. Put the glue on the long side only. And slip your watch face on there until the 12 reaches the part where it's glued together. And give it just enough pressure to hold. And then to open it, you kind of bend that back just a tiny bit and unclip it and just slide it back in and let go and it'll go back in place. And there's your watch. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.